No, I didn't quit. Far from it. I've been very busy. May Jesus and Mary be loved by all hearts. I apologize that it seems that I've been missing in action lately, using the analogy of a jumbo jet because the order of the Mother of God is indeed destined to be jumbo-sized religious order. Uploading videos on Marian News topics has been, for me, something like doing routine tasks while running an airplane on autopilot. But when the journey end is approaching, tasks change and things get very busy in the cockpit. Yes, radar is telling me that the terminal is getting close, so I have to coordinate the fleet of cargo ships that are following me. This video will be an encouraging progress report for those of you who have been cheering for the Order of the Mother of God to officially begin. I'm also shooting a companion video today as an encouraging progress report on the unfolding of prophecy, because we are picking up speed as we advance toward the triumph of the Immaculate Heart. Let's review 2021 by starting at the end of 2020. In November, the Theotokans hosted a 3-day convention in Wichita to prepare the laity to minister to people who will experience a conversion during the coming illumination of conscience. That convention was a huge success, beyond our wildest imagination. We were limited in attendance because of COVID, so we hope to do a bigger event in Louisiana in October or November of 2022. The 2020 talks were live streamed and uploaded. The playlist isn't easy to find on Marian News because I have so many videos on this channel. I'll put the link below in the description box. December 2020. One of the speakers at the convention prevailed upon me to head south and spend time in New Orleans. I had recently acquired a companion named Sarah who was discerning a religious vocation. A widowed gentleman in New Orleans graciously offered us his entire second floor. I really wasn't looking forward to living in the degenerate Mardi Gras culture, but this was the door that Our Lady was obviously pushing me through, and my rent money in Wichita was running low, so we headed south. January 1st, 2021, we arrived just in time for the Vigil Mass of the Solemnity of the Mother of God, and the proper Mass the next morning. I would soon be dumbfounded at the Marian fervor of the Catholics of Louisiana. From January to June, I was invited to meet with one Marian prayer group after another. My low opinion of Louisiana turned upside down, or rather right side up. Everywhere there was strong evidence of 3 centuries of Catholicism, reverent liturgies, a thriving seminary, adoration chapels, and beautiful churches built by and still filled with many families bearing French and French-Canadian names. French missionaries had long ago sown devotion in the hearts of these people to Our Lady of La Salette. Melanie is a common name in Louisiana. So, what about Louisiana's dark side? Its very dark side. The innocent French custom of celebrating Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras, on the day before Lent to use up all the goodies in the pantry before the great Lenten fast has been infiltrated by a horde of partiers so bad that it would make Las Vegas blush. In recent years, the plaza around the Cathedral of St. Louis in the French Quarter has become the abode of fortune tellers of a most sinister variety. Witches and warlocks fly in on planes, or maybe their broomsticks, to celebrate the annual Hex Fest. The Voodoo Festival is an annual event now around Halloween. The Southern Decadence Festival, which celebrates every sort of perversion, goes on for a whole week around Labor Day. This deeply Catholic area, where civil counties are called parishes, where saints lived and died and whose tombs are venerated, and where the rallying song is "The Saints Go Marching On," how does this Catholic area attract such depraved groups of people? I figured out the answer. Louisiana scares Lucifer. He's got to knock this down. It's become his special target. The fervor of Louisiana Catholics is a huge threat to Satan's aspirations to build a worldwide anti-kingdom. The heart of Mary's battle with her archenemy is France, the eldest daughter of the church. because the two personalities are so closely identified to represent the bride, and the bride is the main personality in the book of the Apocalypse. France is represented very strongly in Louisiana. I wager that there are more practicing Catholics in Louisiana than in France and French Canada combined. I have become convinced that Louisiana is where the Order of the Mother of God should begin. I was meeting many enthusiastic people there who want to become lay Theotokens, but prayer and discernment made me understand that I would better serve the future Third Order if I would focus my attention on establishing the Second Order, that is, the First Congregation of Sisters. Melanie said that it would begin with the sisters. In fact, it's the only major rule that is addressed to females. The First Order, the congregations of priests and brothers, would come later, probably very soon after, because they will be an essential part of the apostolate. But this order is like the body of Mary, so it has its feminine aspect. St. Dominic founded a convent of nuns before he was ready to set up the men's foundations. In fact, Melanie became a Dominican tertiary because she said the Dominicans share some characteristics similar to the Order of the Mother of God. New Orleans had a strong Dominican presence, which enthralled Sarah. She discerned that she wasn't called to an active life, and she, in July, moved on to pursue a contemplative Dominican vocation. Our host was in the process of selling his house, and I was invited to move upstream the Mississippi to Natchez, another historical city with strong French Catholic roots. In this way, I was pulled away from the New Orleans limelight of invitations to talk about the order, so as to settle down and focus on getting the order officially launched. By the way, several of my Louisiana talks between January and June have been uploaded as videos. I'll put the links below. No sooner had I reached Natchez when talented volunteers had discovered Marian News and promptly emailed me to offer their services. So from July to December, I've been focused on a pilot's checklist to land this jumbo jet and its fleet. There are 7 dioceses in Louisiana. I've heard good things about all the bishops. Surely Our Lady has chosen one of them. Number 1 on the checklist, I need to provide the bishop with an English translation of the important documents that will demonstrate incontrovertibly that the Rule of Mary is an authentic part of the approved apparition of La Salette. Keep in mind that Melanie was a victim of fake news during and after her long life. If a bishop or his vicar general hop on the internet, they will find a vast quantity of this material still circulating. She was finally vindicated by the discovery of documents in the Vatican archives in 1999. But that story is still in French, and it's not been well publicized. There are 5 thick volumes of Melanie's letters and other important material that remain in French. For 7 years, I've worked with some 50 translators who felt inspired to generously volunteer some of their time. This project has been advancing faster and faster. It's been piling up into a hodgepodge of pieces that need to be reviewed and consolidated. I can't do that. I don't speak French. Where would I find such a talented person? I had no idea. In August, Our Lady suddenly gifted me with a scholarly gentleman, a PhD, whose childhood was immersed in the bilingual French-English culture of Canada. He offered to review a few chapters of 1 volume to improve any deficiency in the translation. As he became immersed in Melanie's saga, he grasped the importance of this new order. He enthusiastically committed to acting as general editor to bring a sense of cohesion and consistency. I've allowed this project to take priority because the documents are foundational. We've had to work closely together to find missing pages, to make a multitude of small and large decisions, from everything to fonts and styles, to working out litigation as we apply for copyrights, so that this important Marian apparition will be a fresh gift to the whole church, because English has become the world's international language. By the way, there is more French to translate, so I continue to welcome fresh recruits. For example, we acquired the classic 600-page French biography of Maximin. It's not a critical document, but it will be wonderful to have it translated into English. Number 2 on the checklist, The bishop will want to review a draft of the constitutions for the First Congregation of Sisters to determine whether we will offer a timely ministry for his diocese and the church. I prepared a draft several years ago, but I've been waiting for a definitive English translation of all that Melanie said and wrote about the rule. I was also waiting because I was afraid. I was afraid that my interpretation of Mary's rule would unconsciously reflect the rule of St. Albert because of my Carmelite background. In New Orleans, I was blessed to meet a Dominican priest who knew all about La Salette. He gave me the definitive encouragement that I needed to move forward with confidence. He said that the entire church looks to Carmelites for a model of prayer, and the Theotokans won't be fruitful if I fail to ground them in prayer. As for the practicalities of an active apostolic life, he provided me with several versions of past and current Dominican constitutions, which will be very helpful for me to consult. Number 3, I need to present the bishop with a better organized House of Mary website. It's a magnificent construction of doors and rooms, but broken links need to be fixed, and new material is waiting to be uploaded to an appropriate door. Some door categories are redundant, and other categories are needed that I didn't foresee when we built the house. If you know someone with WordPress skills, I would welcome volunteers to help me. Number 4, I am almost ready with 5 videos on the 5 Theotokan holy hours so that the bishop can see that the lay Theotokans are well equipped to go on multiplying their prayer groups around the world. After I arrived in Natchez, Our Lady gifted me with a graphic layout artist from Texas. She has a full-time job, but has managed to prepare most of the frames for this project. A young deacon helped me with the musical segments. The pieces are ready to assemble. A videographer in Florida is putting the first one together. He also has a full-time job. I would welcome more volunteers with graphic and video talents. As soon as the first Holy Hour video is out, you'll learn how to obtain a Theotokan prayer book of your own, either digital or printed. Number 5, I want to do a series of videos on the Theotokan charism. This will serve multi-purposes. These videos would help the bishop understand how I interpret some of the points in the Rule of Mary. They can also serve as future classes for novices, and they can instruct new lay Theotokans who keep emailing me questions. Number 6, it will be necessary to provide the bishop with my thoughts on the liturgy, to give him a clear idea of the order's position on an area that has become quite controversial. They would also be instructive for novices and lay Theotokans. Number 7, we have our own private interactive Theotokan Town forum, where members can post inspirational reflections and helpful information in a totally secure environment because my brother owns and guards the platform. Kind people have helped us conclude the beta testing, but it is waiting on me to implement those directives. The bishop could interact on the forum if he desires to do so. Number 8, it is imperative that I upload a series of videos to teach Theotokans Gregorian chant because that is required by the Rule of Mary. I've spent hundreds of hours preparing the hymnal with modal harmony, but I couldn't do video segments without help. Our Lady has blessed me with a local organist who is enthusiastically working on this project, as well as our Texas graphic artist who is working on the frames. In this way, the bishop will be satisfied that this hefty part of my responsibility to the first novices is underway. Number 9, I am presently working with Theotokans who are knowledgeable in natural health care. I want to be able to assure the bishop and myself that I have reasonable means to care for the novices. After all, the sisters must live up to the reputation that all nuns have for reaching the age of 100. I have great material to upload to the House of Mary Health door, but fixing broken links and uploading fresh material takes time. Thank you for your patience. And again, I welcome volunteers who have talents in this area. Number 10, my hard drive is bulging with partially cleaned digital scans of religious classics that could be shared freely on the internet. Why is that important? 1, any text properly uploaded to the House of Mary website will allow people to type in some word and unexpectedly discover the messages of the Mother of God. Number 2, any text properly uploaded to the House of Mary website can be run through automatic translation software and thus reach people in every country and almost every language. We've worked hard to format scripts carefully when uploading them because Mary is the Lady of all nations, the Mother of all peoples, and the order of the Mother of God is destined for the whole world. Like King David, I've gathered heaps of treasures for an edifice that will glorify God, but it requires many workers to build it. It isn't realistic for me to accept applications for the novitiate when I have no way to offer them room and board yet. But I can't open a convent until a bishop vets this undertaking and grants permission to let us begin in his diocese. I've been relying on lay people who have many talents to offer, but we know you can't always work full time. Most of you have careers or families by the very nature of your vocation. But these bits of time are like bricks. Bricks turn into walls. If you have talents and time to offer, please approach me here. Then I give this website. Go to houseofmaryomd.org, click the welcome door, and then click open the contact subscribe page. I do not put my contacts on YouTube videos because I move around and can't keep my video contacts current, only the website. If you feel called to volunteer, please prepare to be patient. Every day I have to decide where to focus my attention, so you'll have to wait in line. What is needed are videography skills, graphic skills, for example, if you know how to run Photoshop or PaintShop, audio editing skills, typing and editing skills, layout skills in Microsoft Word, layout skills in InDesign, typing and editing skills in any document software, translation skills, especially from French to English right now, WordPress, website blogging skills. It's probably too late for me to acquire a proper Southern accent, but I intend to learn to say y'all at appropriate moments. I wish y'all a very blessed Christmastide, and I encourage y'all to watch today's companion video called Great Glad Tidings for 2022. Happy New Year.